This is a Woodlawn-bound 4 express train. The next stop is Onthe4 Parkway.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Welcome back to the Onthe4 Podcast. It is your favorite uncle, Uncle Val. And I have with me today
Sweet Tea,
Tree, and Tasha.
and we also have a very special guest. You want to introduce her, Sweet Tea?
this is the one, the only Aish.
Aisha.
Knew the song was coming.
Better,
I knew the song was
want to get to
coming.
know you better.
Lord.
Aisha.
Welcome to the Onthe4 Podcast.
Thank you. I've never been here before, so let's see what we can delve into.
Well, buckle up. It's about to happen.
Oh, we're about to have a ride.
So Sweet Tea, you want to start us off?
I guess so. I have a question. Serious as cancer. Has anyone ever dated outside of your race? And let me just say, all of us on here are African American, maybe a little Cherokee, maybe a little, your ancestors was touched by, but hey, let's not go into that. Let's bring it back. Have you ever felt the need, or have you ever dated outside of your race?
I have not. No, not at all.
I can't tell a lie. I married outside my race.
I haven't dated outside my race, but I have had fun one time outside my race.
I'm gonna pose another question.
Did we just lose somebody?
Have you ever? I was about to pose that question. Have you ever
I don't
considered
see her.
dating out of your race? Because I have. You don't see me?
Okay.
Okay, let me take out my
Yeah, I
earpod. Hold
married
on,
somebody
hold
out
on.
my
No,
race. She
it's a
is
question.
Dominican, and that is one hell of a combination.
Um,
Well, I
when I
have my
thought of,
question.
say your question again, Aisha.
The problem is I'm on a Wi-Fi right
I don't
now, so
see
you
her.
gotta kind of second. What I've said was, have you ever considered dating outside of your race? Because I have.
So for me, I guess I was unofficially dating, and it was somebody outside my race, but I thought I was dating, but I was told I wasn't dating and couldn't date. So, but after that, I've been on the black boy path ever since.
Mhm.
Not the
So I don't know if I said I consider it, but I have.
I haven't considered.
I haven't considered either. It's not that I was against it, really, but it just hasn't happened.
You're not down with the swirl?
It just hasn't happened.
I,
Not down with the
that's a
swirl.
girl. Like outside of your race is
So what
outside.
about you, Aish?
I've considered dating outside of my race only because I feel like I'm not valued within my race.
Mm,
Mm. You want to talk
interesting.
about it really quick?
Well, we can have a quick conversation about it. I feel that we live in a world where Black women specifically are the least valued, the least protected females on the planet. And, in order to, I don't want to say find divine love, because of course my option, my preference would be a Black man, but because Black men don't necessarily respect us the way we're supposed to be respected and give us the comfort, the protection, the needs that we have. Yeah, it's not looking like that at my big old age.
We lost her. So,
She's back, I think.
you back,
And let me
Aisha?
just give this by saying,
Oh,
let me just
sit
give
down.
this by saying, I'm not saying that Black men cannot be these things. What I'm saying, in my experience at my big age, because I'm a full grown woman, I have not been able to find a person that can offer me the same things I'm willing to offer them. And this goes against nothing that a Black man who has been in a relationship for 20, 30 years, women who have been in these relationships for years, I don't take away from that. But what I'm saying is, where are we valued?
Mm-hmm.
So, valued, I think, is a big, broad word. But if I can speak, I feel like being valued is earned. I feel like you allow any men, regardless of color, to treat you um a certain way. I feel like you have to kind of coach men of any color and or teach them how to treat you. So a man is not just going to magically say, you know what? She likes roses. She likes candy every week. She likes to be romance. She likes steak versus shrimp and lobster. I think you have to lead the man to the path of treating you how you want to be treated. And I'm just going to say, I feel like that with any um nationality, but I've only dated a certain particular man for an extended period of time, race a man for an extended period of time. But I do know that sometimes us as women, Black women, it does appear sometimes that we have to work extra hard to get what we feel we should be getting, which is
Hold on,
the
I'm getting in the
value
elevator.
of
Hold on.
who we are, what we do, what we bring to the table.
And I think, in a sense, too,
Hold on,
that
I'm in the elevator.
value that
Hold on.
we possess, because we do, I think that's what kind of push men away. It can be intimidating, and they'll rather go somewhere where they don't have to work as hard. And that's why we see a lot of Black men dating outside the race. Nothing wrong with it, but it's just, yeah, you see that often. I think more often than women dating outside their race.
Yeah, that's been a reason, given that reason, what you just said, literally that
Oh, guys,
either
y'all
Black
just
women are too hard to please, we too hard to, we too independent. It's been those type of things when you hear that scenario of a Black man dating outside his race and choosing outside of his race. But yeah, I like to hear from the Black man.
Well, I have a question in regards to that. Before Chevelle speaks, I do have a
It's
question in
hard because
regards.
I can't hear Aisha's what she's saying, but
Oh, she's oh.
Hold on, Chevelle. She's trying to make a statement,
Yeah.
and then you can go.
Right.
Sorry.
Now,
it's Uncle Val.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we're discussing just the values, we're too independent, we're too strong, we're too um I'm going to say elevated. And I'm only speaking these words because these are words that I've had. I heard that I'm too mad or whatever the case may be. And Chevelle can speak after this. However, if you as a Black woman have been placed in a situation where you have to figure it out, you have to delve down into yourself in order to secure your family, then how is it that I'm masculine? You know, if you're leaving me in a space to where I have to step into your position to make sure that my family's okay because you either walked away, didn't want to be bothered, wasn't trying, whatever the case might be, how does that make me masculine? It's strong. And I hear most often that Black women are too strong to date Black men. And let me just say this, at the same time, we're all on the same porch. We're all sitting on the same porch, right? So Black women and Black men have to perform certain roles. And I don't want to go back in time. We're not going to do that to decipher when the roles were changed or whatever the case might be. However, if I'm giving you the opportunity to step up and be the responsible person in this household, and you're not willing to do it for whatever reason, I'm talking about mass incarceration. I'm talking about drugs in the 80s. I'm talking about all of these things. You were not able to do it, and then I had to do it. How did I become the bad guy because I had to step up and be the person that you were supposed to be, but you couldn't be?
And then too, they kind of expect that now that they're back, you're supposed to just succumb to it, and it's just like forget what you did all this time, and now it's like, okay, let me take over.
Right.
Now your favorite Uncle Val can go.
I'm lost because I can't hear her side of the conversation.
Oh, you
So
can't.
no, that's what I've been saying. I can't hear or see her. So for me to respond to her, I can't. But just to go back to what I was saying earlier about value, I think everybody has to come into any relationship with their own value, you know, but you have to believe that you are valuable and that somebody would want to be with you because of, when we say value, I'm talking about, the kind of person you are, you're a giving person, you're a loving person, you're someone who will, you're a hard worker. That's your value, not just because you can cook and clean for me or you can have my kids or whatever. That's to me, that's not what makes you, that's not your value. Your value is me being with you is going to better me because of how you are. That's your value to me, basically. My wife makes me a better person every day. So I just wanted to touch on that value part.
Chevelle, can you hear me now?
I don't think he
I
can.
don't think you can.
Chevelle! I'm about to start yelling. Chevelle!
Ice, take a minute if you don't mind and go out and come back in and see if that works.
I'm about to step out and step back in and see if
Yeah.
I don't know
All
how
right.
to, but we're going to figure it out. Okay.
Yeah. Go out and
She's
come
gonna
back
step out
because,
and come back in, Uncle Bill.
yeah, because while we're waiting for her to do that, I think our topic of the day, we added so much to that icebreaker that the topic of the day is, why does Black men hate Black women? And I know it's a kind of blunt statement, but I think that it comes from emotions and feelings of some black women, and it may be a strong, a strong kind of topic, but you know,
Well,
being a black woman,
we
I
have
think
to
that
we have to add a disclaimer. Oh, Aisha,
You went back out?
yeah, she's got to come back. Okay,
I'm back. Can you hear
okay,
me?
yep, we hear you.
Okay.
Thank you.
No.
I was just before you go. Let me just respond to Sweet Tea.
Okay.
Just as a disclaimer, I don't think all black men hate all black women. We can't paint that broad of a brush on to say that all black men hate black women. They don't. You know, you can see a lot of I have a lot of friends that are black male friends that are married to strong black women. You know, I see it every day. Is there a lot of black men that have stepped outside of their race and dated and married ladies from other races? Yes. But you know, I can't say that all black men hate black women.
And like I was saying, it's an emotional piece. You can state that from a black man's perspective, but you married a Dominican lady, love her to death, but it's still it's outside of your race. So, the a question would be, why
But
didn't you?
race.
Hold on
Hold up.
one
Let me just
second.
before
Hold on.
you go.
No,
Let me
hold
just
on,
add
hold
this.
on,
Race
hold on.
wasn't a factor when I started dating her when we got married. That I didn't see black, Dominican, or
Right,
whatever.
but if you'd have let me finish, that's where I was going. But what you didn't see race, but we're talking about black men dating outside their race, and also showing a lot more disappointment, a lot more hate, a lot more resentment towards black women. And sometimes it appears that it shows because they do date outside their race, they do marry outside their race. I'ma just, OJ, if somebody like that who had a
We
whole
traded
wife
him
and
back.
kids, but a whole wife and kids from a black woman, abandoned that family and then married outside his race, but ensured no matter, even though he was separated from this lady, ensured that he made sure that he took care of her and them kids and abandoned his black wife and kids.
Well, I'll take in
So
that case.
it
I would take
happens.
the abandonment versus what the other person got. So,
Right, but
I'm okay with the abandonment.
that's just an
That wasn't
example
funny.
of
I'm sorry.
that's just an example of why some black women feel that way. And it does come back from long years of standing where my grandparents, my grandmother had 13 kids. She took care of the house. She worked. She did jobs that were allowed to her back then. My grandfather, he did work. He was supposed to be the provider of the home. And that was a black family. That was a black marriage. They build on that. There were ups and downs, but you know, coming front and center, yes, we do live in a time where, you know, uh, uh, you know, race doesn't play a factor because supposedly, there's very minimum racism, but you still have to kind of consider the black woman's feelings when these things happen. So, I get it may be broad, but a lot of black women feel. Why do black men hate us? Sometimes I feel like a black man will help another race of woman cross the street and leave a woman that looks like them to bear the burden by themselves.
And let me just chime in because I'm talking about 2025. I'm not going back to our great grandparents or anything of the such. I'm going to speak on 2025. So there was a podcast that just had recently came out where a well-known actor had made some comments in regards to why he decided to date outside of his race. Mind you, he ended up marrying a black woman. However, what he said was that he was dating Dominicans and Cubans and white women and all of these people who fed into his narrative where he was willing to give the bare minimum and they were giving everything. And he felt like that was better because at the end of the day, black women are not willing to serve that same catapult. And for me, it just let me just let me just speak on me. I'm a black woman in 2025. Yes, I'm single, all of that. I've been married. I've been divorced. I married a black man. I'm now divorced from a black man. However, at the same time and token, we honestly have to take into consideration the fact that we live in a world where everybody wants right now. Everybody wants to be served right now. This is 2025. This is not 1976 when some of us on this podcast was born and others of us were not. So their timeline looks different than our timeline. But what I'm saying is when our grandparents were birthing out 13, 17, 25 kids, let's not act like grandpappy not have a whole nother family. Let's not do that. Okay? What I'm saying is in 2025, I've seen it time and time again to where a black man will defend another. I'm not even gonna say a white woman because them white women tears are something. They something,
Mhm.
and people fall into them. What I'm saying is, in the world that we currently live in, we live in a world where you feel like, well, I don't necessarily have to go through anything. I can just provide the bare minimum. I ain't gotta have a job. I could be homeless. I ain't got no money. I can't provide you nothing but my black penis. And I'm just being completely transparent and honest. And some way that makes up for the fact that black women are hard, they're decensored, they don't tolerate a lot of things. And the question bears on me to why do I need to? If I understand your struggle like you understand my struggle, we're in the same struggle together. We go through this together. We go through this together. I see you more than anybody on this plight. And Chevelle, I'm not talking about you because you've been married for what, 40 years now?
30.
40, I was 40, 45. I was right. So you're not in this plight, but we're in the same boat. Like we serve the same purpose. We're still going through the same things. I want to come home to my man and say, damn, today was hard. And be accepted, be respected, be honored, and have a conversation about it. But in 2025, it doesn't look like that. It looks like I'm complaining. It looks like I'm a problem. It looks like I'm always nagging. And why is that what I have to deal with when you in the same boat that I am? You
Can,
call this
can
work
I
the same way I
can I interject something real quick though?
do, certainly.
Um, does that is that really that he hates a black woman, or more of you just chose the wrong person?
You know why I say that black men hate women? Because black men hate their mothers. And I'm about to take it a whole step further. Black men hate their mothers based on the shit that their mothers had to deal with for the 30, 40 years that they were married. And somehow they can't see a black woman outside of that. And
Once again, I can't say that's true for all black men.
I'm not, no, 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 no,
I
no,
ca-
don't,
I can't I
no,
can't
no,
I can't say that.
Chevelle, wait, I'm not saying all black men. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying we have a good scope of men, black men, within our community that hate their mothers based on their mother's plight and based on their mother's responsibilities to take care of them as single black women. Black men walk out. Let's be clear. And I'm not saying that's across the board because it doesn't happen all the time. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that black men walk out and black women are left to have to figure out the pieces, figure out how to make this shit work. They're raising sons, they're raising daughters, they're raising people to put back out in the community. And every single time it does not work the way you feel like it might necessarily work. Now, if you live in a household where you have two general parents that have everything and they've done everything, you might not necessarily have to have that same plight, but that's just not the reality. The reality is, yes, black women make bad decisions, but so do black men. And let's stop trying to make black women accountable for the plight of black men. That shit is not fair. And I've had this conversation way too many times to not be clear about it. Black men hold black women responsible for the choices that they're making. Pookie, Corey, Tukey, Chester. We hold black women responsible for the plight that black men make. Oh, well, you decided to have a baby with him. No, nigga, I decided to have a baby with you. And somehow, some way, I've been held responsible to figure this shit out on my own. And this is just me being clear. Like I said, I was married. I was married for 20 years. I was married for 20 some odd years. I have 6 children by the same black man that I was married. Does that negate my plight? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Am I saying every black man? No. But am I saying that we are left in a toll where the responsibility somehow, some way falls on black women and how we have to decipher and figure out how to maneuver after y'all walk away? Not
So what do you do now? Do you now hate black men? And do you now want to do like black men and decide to date outside your race? Like knowing what you're saying, what are you going to do now?
do you have any times I want to walk away out this household and be like, yep, shit, I'm gonna be a nigga. I said it out my own mouth. I've said it. But somehow, some way, I'm still here. You know why? Because these are my children. These are my borns. These are my responsibility. But should I just be left with the responsibility? Absolutely not. Do I hate black men? Absolutely not. Do I know that we are still serving on the same plight of dysfunction? Absolutely. But I'm also going to hold a black man accountable and say, wait a minute, it ain't different because black men is the same ones being murdered by these white girls. Let's be clear about that. It's happening right now in 2025. So y'all done jumped over the fence and then y'all want to come back. Susie done beat me. No, Susie was your friend, huh?
So if
Susie
I can
was your friend.
interject, if I can interject, what I am going to say, a lot of it I agree with, but what I do agree with, even though I've been married for some time now to a black man, I have a number of children by this black man. What I can say is that I do believe that we do become the pity pool for black men. So, you think you're better than me. You don't went to school, you don't graduate, you got a good job. Now you think you don't need me. My thing is that I always need you, brother. And financially, I think that we should still be able to come together and be develop our worth together. But sometimes you have that black man that'll be like, once you find out how much more figures your wife or girl may make, they become bitter. So we become that kind of bitter pool. You're gonna put all your bitter and your regret on me, and how much longer do you think that I'm supposed to hold that weight and carry it? And that I don't think is fair because, I guess it's just me. I feel like if I was to date outside my race, I feel like I have more issues when I'm worrying about the other race of people not liking me, having to watch my back more, having to, I don't dislike anyone. I love all races and colors. I just feel like, and I'm going to say, I think, you know, as a black woman, I think I belong with a black man. I don't, you know, but you also can't tell people who to fall in love with. You
Right.
know, you cannot discriminate against someone because they fell in love with another culture. So that's not me. But what I do feel like, I love my black men, my black brothers, my black nephews, my black cousins. I love them all, but I think that, we are, again, I always resort back, we are a race of oppressed people, that we have been conditioned to believe that black is ugly, black is cruel, black ain't shit, you know what I'm saying? So we are oppressed in believing that. So at what point do we kind of come out of that? And I'm talking about male and female. Do we come out of that and kind of embrace our black women and black men? I think it got lost somewhere in the trenches, where we went through all of this kind of racism and stuff together as a family, even though our black men wives were raped, our husbands were belittled in front of us. We still managed to keep that kind of family, that family origin together. But now it seems like as days go on and more go on, we become divided. I really honestly and truthfully feel like a black brother in the street will disrespect me before he disrespects some other race of woman. I really honestly and truthfully feel that way. And you can't say to him, brother, I'm your sister. I'd be like, you ain't my motherfucking sister. It's just like, it's mind boggling that, I can't sit on the train and have a conversation with with a black brother, and it don't turn into, yo, what, you know what I'm saying? It's uncanny right now. I really, 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 I struggle with those things. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm gonna go back because while I've never dated outside my race and didn't have any plans on dating, I don't necessarily think that all black people should be with other black people. Similar to what your favorite uncle said, you can't help who you love, the race or what have you. You need to. I think the success come from being with someone who you value. Like you said,
mhm.
they don't not. I'm only gonna look at these black people and say just who you value, who value you, and what they can, do for you, make you a better person. If it's happen to be a white person, so be it. But I don't think just because I'm black, or anyone black have to be with somebody black, or white people have to be with white people. That no. But I can say too, on the flip, sometimes I do get a little annoyed, especially like with uh basketball players or football players who have like that strong black mom that raised them, and they shout their mom out, but on their side they have like a person of another race on their arm. So I'm not gonna lie, that do bother me sometimes, but I just hope that that person is truly someone that is good for them and not just an image.
Yeah. I think that I want to go back to, I agree that the black woman is the most disrespected on this planet, right? And so it's very unfortunate that we experience that much of disrespect from our own within, right? It's very disheartening. It's I get how heavy that is. But I also have a fear of, again, we're the most disrespected. So do I really think if I leave outside my race, I'm going to be treated better than what the black man is doing? I think that we've enabled black men. I think a lot of mothers enabled black men to do some of the things that they're doing every single day. I have two brothers. I know what that looks like. And so I think it's just very convoluted. I don't think it's just one way. Like you said, it's not all black men. I see that. But I do see some lovely black on black relationships
Relationship,
that
yes.
that has been standing forever, for a long time. So it's but yeah, that's
Eh,
my input
I
on that.
I
We
would
see
I
it
would
right here.
say
On.
I
Like
would
Hmm.
we're literally looking at it right now. But Can I say that this is the majority?
Mhm.
I think this is the median. I think that, of course, we do have, of course, a plethora of Black relationships that are amazing, to where it's just like, oh my God, you see that and you just like, okay, I want that.
Mhm.
But there's a downside. And it's not just within the Black community. Let me not just speak on that. It's not just within the Black community. Let me not just say that we are, oh my God, we're just destitute to be single Black women for the rest of our lives. Absolutely not. What I'm speaking on specifically is the devalue of Black women. We've always been devalued. This has been since the beginning of time. This is nothing new. This is nothing that has just transpired. This is nothing that just came up. Even when in current times we're talking DEI and how they knocked off all of the DEI things. Who do y'all think that was in regards to? It wasn't in regards to us. We just
Right.
got in there on a sweep them under the rug type shit. But that was not what the plight was about. The plight was about white women getting into the field. We just happened to show up and outperform them
And show out.
and show out because that's what we do as Black. This is my point. As Black women, we have always been the mother, the mother, the star. Anything that you feel like a woman should be came from a Black woman. That's the beginning of time. This is nothing. I'm not talking about anything that is just like I'm just preaching, just be preaching. No, Black women set the stage for this foundation. DEI was based on white women who could not get a job, so they came up with DEI in order to give this bitch a preference. That was it. That was all. And then you had um when, oh shit, I can't remember the name right now, but you know what the fuck I'm talking about. When they started hiring Black men and all of that good shit. But it was based off the fact that white women could not be hired. It had nothing to do with us. So when they're now taking down all of these rules and regulations and shit, that don't have nothing to do with us. What I'm saying, we are the essence of the earth.
I have a question, and
Yes.
and this is towards everyone.
Yeah.
Do you think that the devaluing of Black women, do other Black women lead to that or add to that?
Can I speak on
What
that?
you?
To
Yes.
that to that devaluing of how Black
Can I speak on
women
that?
look in general.
Look,
Do
I
you
raised
think
my
I
hand.
got you. Let me just finish the question. Do you think that
I bet y'all won't invite me back no more.
that, like I said, that Black women are helping to devalue Black women? Go ahead, Miss Aisha.
The only reason I would say no is based off the circle that I am currently involved in. I can't speak on any other Black women plight. I can speak on the plight that I'm currently involved in with my sister circle.
Okay, question. So you don't think
No, no, no. Wait. Hold on.
I'm just let me
Question,
just
let me
add
answer
this.
you.
But do you think shows like Baddies and all
You can
that stuff?
revamp it as many times as you like, but I'm gonna answer you. Don't
Go
get me
ahead.
started on the shows. Don't go there. We're
But
not
I'm
gonna talk about the
asking,
shows.
do you think that adds to it?
No, I think that if you're talking show wise, I feel like we have been. First of all, we've all been played. We've all been played. We've all been put in a situation to where you got to do a certain thing, look a certain kind of way, whatever. I'm not talking about that because I don't give a fuck about none of that. That's not my life. That's not how I live my life. Nothing. I'm a Black woman and I have Black sisters, okay, that I have come across in my life that have held me down, told me when I was wrong, held me accountable, and done all of these things. So for me, no, I do not believe that Black women hold black women down. That's just my experience based off of the circle that I have, because my zone is going to do everything that they need to do in order to elevate me. These are the sisters that have helped me to get into my master's program, that have elevated me to move forward, that have elevated me to raise my kids a certain kind of way. So I cannot specifically say, no, my sisters are holding me down. We also do not believe in the white aesthetic. So I have sisters that tell me I'm beautiful, that tell me and their children that they are beautiful and you can do anything that you need to do in your life. So that's just not the life that I'm living. I don't believe in the aesthetic. I don't believe in certain things because I have a fucking certain group around me that is going to hold me down. And when I'm wrong, not for nothing, your sister, that one right there, the one with the hand, that hand on her, my sister and Jewel will hold me down and tell me when I'm wrong and all of that. So I cannot fall into the whole entire like, oh, uh you're fucked up because you're fucked up. No. My sisters, the girls that I have come up around, I've been around them for going on 20 years. Going on 20 years. These girls are amazing to me. Even when I don't feel like I'm beautiful, even when I don't feel like I'm worthy, even when I don't feel like anything that I'm doing is worth anything, my sisters hold me up. And I feel like in a black community, that's what the fuck we need, because what are we doing? We're all raising daughters. We're all raising sons. We're all raising kids. We all got, at one point, husbands, boyfriends, whatever, baby fathers, whatever the fucking case might be. We've always been in a position to where we've never pulled no punches. So
So
where I feel valued, let me be clear, where I feel valued is with my sisters, because my sisters have always valued me.
I have a
But these
question.
same black men who I have birthed,
I have a
I
question.
got 4 sons. I got 4 sons that I have birthed, that I have given birth to, that I have fucking served out of my fucking uterus. And I'm not talking about my sons, because my sons, they got me. But what I'm saying is, the same sons that I have birthed, that mother has birthed, does not respect me the same way. We do not fall into the same category of the white woman aesthetic. My nose does not have to be small. My mother just talked about this shit the day before yesterday. I said, Mommy, I look just like you. She said, no, my nose ain't never been that big. I said, Mom, but I'm your daughter. And she said, and you're still beautiful. But here's what I'm saying. My sisters will never come to me and be like, oh, you look ugly today, or nothing of the sort. My sisters are my sisters. So where I get my value from, and I need the girl. Yeah, girl, look. Yeah, that's right. Look at the camera. Where Tasha? Because I can't see her.
I'm right here. I'm
Okay.
listening.
But I need my sisters to understand that at the end of the day, it does not come from another catapult. It comes from the source that you are willing to be sourced with. My sisters are my sisters. And
So
Okay.
let me
wait,
just
My
wait.
say,
my my
No, no,
my
no,
my,
no,
my
no. Let me
question. My
answer the
question.
question.
My
You can't
question.
ask me a question and then
My
not let me
question.
answer it.
Well, you ain't let me ask the question, so you
Because
can't
you saw
answer.
Tanya snapping her fingers
No.
like, yeah, clock that
No.
T.
My
I
question.
didn't
Clock
snap
that
my fingers.
My
T.
question to you is, based on all that you said,
Yeah.
how do we get the black man to treat the black women like that?
You want me to answer that?
I didn't
I'm,
ask the question for you not to answer.
and I'm going to answer. I'm going to answer you. The black man has to see us for what we are.
And what is that?
Strong, healthy, beautiful, black, um, smart, sexy, um, it's so many different things that I
It's
don't,
so many things.
so many things. You can we could be here all night, which we can't, but we could be here all night discussing that. I just if I can go back and when you asked the question about TV, I think TV is put there to kind of um
Knock this shit down.
devalue us if we allow it, because you have so many black sisters on these programs that's talking about each other hair, nails. They want to fight each other over men and stuff like that. Do you know how foolish that looks? Especially when you all are beautiful in your own way, and you could probably can have any man that you want, but they put us on there to kind of depict us against each other, and also it's about money. So, if I do that and I discredit my black sister, I can get $1 million. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do that. They say money is the root to all evil. Yes, all of us on here would love $1 million, but I don't think I would want to earn it in that manner. I'm sorry.
But to see, and the
I
problem,
because I'm raising black women. And I want my black women that I'm raising to know that they can accomplish anything, they can do anything. They're beautiful. They whatever the case may be. My thought process always is, as long as a man don't put their hand on my daughter, they'll still be 6 feet above the ground. It's it becomes hard when you have so many of these different kind of things going on that you know want to brainwash us into believing that that's what we're worth, which is not much. They want us to believe. But go ahead, Uncle Val.
now I was just going to say that the problem is there's too many of us, men, women, whatever, that are supporting those types of programs that are devaluing not just black women but black men as well. We're supporting this nonsense. We tune in every week. We buy the T-shirts. We do whatever.
Yeah,
So we're supporting it because
that's my point.
who wants to watch Ratchet TV?
So
Why?
you asked a question. You asked, how do we get outside of this? The
Okay.
only way to get outside of this, listen, you can love who you want to love. You can marry every white woman in America. That's fine. Nobody is questioning your epitome of who you want to marry. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. The problem is when you watch me be disrespected and devalued and you have no words based off of your lifestyle, that's the problem. That's the problem. I don't give a shit. Listen, I got on a train this morning. Perfect example. I got on a train this morning. Black man got on a train. I think he was a motorcycler because he had the little backpack on his back and he had no motorcycle little shoes. And he sat next to me and he touched me. And I don't like people touching me on the train. Let me just be clear. I ain't with that shit. Don't touch me. I won't touch you. We good. He got off. No, he didn't get off. On 72nd Street, a woman got on the train. He was a black male. Let me just say that. He was a black male. And she was Hispanic in some nature. I don't know if she was Colombian, Venezuelan, whatever the case might be. When I tell you, when that man locked eyes with her, he was so in tune to her that it was nobody's business what the fuck they were talking about, what the hell they were doing. That was just their shit. They hugged between 72nd Street and 42nd Street. And anybody from New York knows that that's about a good 10-minute hug.
Did
10-minute hug.
did they know each other?
They did because he met her on the train. So apparently they had been in some kind of relationship. So I had like peeked up a couple of times and I watched the way this man looked at this woman. And when I tell you he was so in tune with her that it did not matter what the hell was taking place around him, that was his girl. Whatever they had going on was what they had going on. What I'm speaking on is, and it might sound strange, it might sound retarded, but why can we not get the same respect? Is it respect, or is it an adorance, or a love?
But
Matters.
see
Like
that's
everybody.
hard. That's hard to
Oh,
in
hold on,
that
hold on, hold on.
in
Wait,
that
wait, wait, Chanel.
situation.
Hold on, hold
Now,
on,
let me
hold
just
on,
say this though.
Chanel.
In that situation, that's hard because they have that history.
I don't know what the history was, but what I'm saying is, what I swear on everything that a black woman loves as a black woman in 2025. We only want somebody who can see us for what we are. If it don't work, it don't work. That's fine. If it don't
So
work, it
let
don't
me
work.
just, so Aisha, just let me say on that note, you could find that on Tinder.
Yeah,
So
you can.
unfortunately,
No, that nigga just
it's
no. Tanya, shut the
unfortunately,
fuck up. Cause
guys,
that's not the truth. Tinder is just for screwing. So you better pick
unfortunately,
another. You better pick another platform, cause that ain't
uh,
it.
gospel mingles. I don't
There's
know,
black Tinder.
Gospels.
gospel mingles.
Lord. First of
But
all, both of
for
y'all are married,
now,
so shut up.
so for
Both of
now,
y'all are married, so be quiet.
so for now, guys, unfortunately, but fortunately, it's shot o'clock. So
I hope we had a good chat.
yes,
Well,
we had the most
we're gonna have to have a
amazing
part
chat.
two.
It might be a part 3
We
Oh
because
definitely gonna have
shit.
to have a part two.
I think all
Part
the points
three.
that were brought up were valid points, but it's going to be hard to speak when we don't have, like, for instance, your favorite uncle. Even though he's married outside of his race, he still love, respect the black woman. We have to get someone who actually,
Don't.
and it, yeah.
Don't.
not saying it like that, but in a sense, kind of devalue to really, get it. For otherwise, we'll just be
To make it
going
make
back and
sense,
forth
because
with
I
we only
mean,
have one part.
I have I had a black mother. I have black sisters, black nieces. How would I look embarrassing them, disrespecting them, not cherishing them?
You
Happens
look
every
with
day.
two black eyes. Let's shot
It
o'clock.
happens
we
every
We're gonna
day.
have to
It
go
Let's
happens.
do it.
live
I
one
It
just
day so
happens
we
every
can have a
day.
plethora of
Let's
opinions.
there's just no
But it happens
way.
every day. That's my
But
point. It
and then
happens every
just
day.
to go back to something you mentioned earlier in the household, I could never
was ready.
hate my mother because of all the stuff that she taught me.
Yeah, we definitely need a part two.
Yes,
Jesus
agree.
Christ.
You
Or we're gonna have
know,
Yeah,
to go
we need a
live.
part two.
Or guys, we can go live where we can have many other opinions in on this. But
That's good.
for
right now we're
now.
gonna
this
Gospel mingles and Tinder.
Yo.
black tender.
Uh, uh,
Y'all are
Listen,
annoying.
this is
uh, uh,
and this is coquito in this
Not the
Pepsi bottle,
coquito.
Coca-Cola
this ain't no
bottle. I'm
coquito.
sorry,
Not
This
coquito.
it's
is
coquito.
hen.
I
But we
love
not
you
This
just
is
shot.
guys.
We are shot into our guests. Aisha,
I
thank you
love
for
you
yes,
joining.
guys.
This was really
Thank you
good.
for
Aisha.
joining.
Thank you.
Fabulous, fabulous girl. We love you.
This
I
is
You'll be
love
you.
back.
y'all.
You'll be back for
But,
part two.
Yeah,
but we
y'all give
just
me part two and part three, because we got a
there
conversation to have.
there will be a part two. But we just want to say thank you, Aisha, for joining the On the 4 podcast. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart Podcasts. You can check us out on our YouTube channel, on the 4 YouTube page. We also have a Facebook page, the On the 4 Facebook page. You can also send us an email at the On the 4 Podcast at gmail.com. ONTHE, the number 4 podcast at gmail.com.
Okay.
We thank you, and we love you.
She said, yeah.
And we out of here.
Clock that T.
Peace.
Clock that T.
Peace.